Hello there everybody, my name is Sriqo and welcome back to another My Team Career Mode episode. This is part 7 at the British Grand Prix. If you did miss the last one, we were in Austria. We had well, spoiler alert, we had a engine failure again. Another DNF, so that's 4 in 6 races. We really need a solid race this time round. We need to finish just for my own sanity and also because, you guys seeing me DNF every second race, or at the moment almost every race is it's not fun. Not fun at all. But anyways, we had a department event here, and what did we even go with? I don't even know. I was completely not paying attention. But yeah, and then we have to renew our sponsors, and we did with Salve. Pretty easy choice that. One thing I did notice is with this game, every time you renew your sponsors, it takes it out of their sticker slots. So I have to go in and re-put the stickers on every single time, which is not really a big deal, but it's a bit annoying. You know what I mean? But also we have been off this game for for a couple weeks, couple weeks. I recorded Austria a few weeks ago, and I've only just posted it. But yeah, this was about one of the first times I've come back onto this game in a few weeks, as we're having a bit of issues with the game itself. I couldn't see any saved replays, and yeah, there was a lot of dramas, but most of it's fixed, kind of. So we jump back on it, and we're onto the Austrian Grand Prix. Got a few things coming through with the R&D in the aero side and one on the chassis. But yeah, we're looking at pretty much just trying to increase the drag reduction wherever we can, and improve the weight of the car because it is horrible at the moment, and yeah, we really want to fix it. But yeah, this weekend I was not too confident coming into this race, just because, Silverstone is traditionally a very good circuit for the AI, and from most people that I've seen drive it, they always complain about how bad they are at this track, and it's no different for me, to be honest. I'm pretty pretty bad at this track, but the one thing I got going for me is I finally decided to up my force feedback settings, so we're at about 110% now, so I can feel a lot more of what's going on. Before I was on like 70 or something, so it's super low. And in just a couple of practice runs, not on this track, just in general, just jumping on some TT just to get used to the game again and the feel of driving. We're feeling a lot smoother and a lot better. So hopefully that translates into this race weekend, and we do pretty well. And we have another department event, and pretty much we are cutting down 10% morale off aero or chassis. I had no idea which one I wanted to do here. I decided to go cut the chassis department down just purely because we got a few more aero upgrades coming in, and I wanted to make sure that they came in. But to be honest, let's just complement the departments in the interviews, and we'll be fine. We'll be back up. There'll be no dramas, so it's not really a big deal there. But yeah, we're just looking to spend some final R&D points, and just need to keep continuing to improve this car because we're not really improving at too much at the moment. We got Spa coming up, so I decided to go with the front downforce. Even though there are a couple of big kind of like DRS zones, or one, I don't know, whatever. Well, the main DRS zones at Camel Straight. But anyways, onto quick practice. So it was raining in P1, P2, so we literally just went quick practice P1, P2, and jumped into practice in P3 to see how we're going. Yeah, I was quite comfortable in practice, to be honest. We normally in practice I'm feeling a bit how you're going. Especially with the car at the moment, and also the fact that I'm pretty inconsistent. But we're feeling pretty good. And as you can see here, we ended up with a pretty solid lap time compared to our teammate as well. We are a solid like second or two ahead of him. The AI level, I think I've got it set to 93 or 95, which is pretty, spot on for my kind of level on this game. But Schwartzman really just needs to pick up his game. He's freaking hopeless, man. So for next season, I'm definitely gonna be looking at trying to bring in another driver. So I think I'm gonna start trying to save up. I'll stop kind of upgrading the specs on the facilities as much, and yeah, we'll go for there. So we ended up in P8 in that session, a 127.4. So I was pretty happy with that, to be honest. Our teammate was way down the order. He's always down in P20 or 21 or 22 or something. But anyways, on to qualifying. Let's see how we go and get in for Q1. it was good. It was a good session from us. And as you see here, I'm just going to show part of my best lap. And to be honest, it was a pretty strong one. So we just cut pretty much just at the end of this lap here now. And look, with 4 tenths, almost, I think we ended up 5 tenths up on our first qualifying lap in Q1. And I was pretty happy with it. We were flying through it, and we ended up in a P11. So we're through to Q2. We found some pace in this car that just should not be there. Like, I was very, very surprised. And surprise as well, our teammate Schwartzman is down in P20. To be fair, the car's probably, you know, the pace in the car is probably around that P16 to 18. So we've probably put it in a spot where it just shouldn't be. But nonetheless, Schwartzman is still underperforming, you know. So he's got to pick up his game, or we're going to ditch him very, very fast at the end of this season. So onto our Q2 lap, our second one. We did a first lap on a scrub set of softs and put in a competitive time. We were ahead of Kimi, as you see there up in the top left on the leaderboard. But yeah, this second lap was extremely strong. It didn't feel as smooth as my best lap in Q1, but I was still, you know, I was still pretty happy with it. I was pretty confident coming into this race weekend. As we have a bit of snap of oversteer there on the second last corner, come across the line, and P13. Not bad at all. I was quite happy with that. I was hoping to try and sneak through into Q3, but that would have been a miracle. So we ended up with a 26.3. So we actually found a lot of pace. We improved, what was it, by about 2 or 3 tenths compared to our Q1 time. But everyone else also improved quite a dramatic amount, as you'd imagine. You know, coming into Q2 and Q3, the track rubber's in quite a bit by this point. But nah, pretty happy with where we're sitting. The car was feeling good. You know, we had a nice balance on the setup, and all I can hope for now is that we start the race and maintain P13 and don't lose it, and hopefully we can sneak into the points. You know, we might be able to snatch a point or two, but 1 lap pace means nothing on race day. You got to back it up for 26 laps on the Sunday and be very, very consistent, especially with where we're going to put in our car. We've got Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon directly behind us. They're in quicker cars. So this could turn into a defensive drive for the entire race. But I'm hoping we can do a bit of attacking here. We'll just have to see what everyone starts on for the Grand Prix. And you know, I think track position is key for us, and if we can maybe gain a couple spots somewhere along the lines in pit stop, across the pit stops by undercutting or something like that, or even overcutting, depending on what's going on, that might be the play. But we're just going to play it by ear and see what happens. On to Sunday with Crofty.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula One World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Perez, Sainz, Gasly, Vettel and Fernando Alonso. Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. The Professor, Lance Stroll and Ocon, Raikkonen, Tsunoda, Antonio Giovinazzi and Robert Schwartzman. Russell, Latifi, Mazepin, they've taken a grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
So we've actually gained a position here from P13 to P12. Because Yuki Tsunoda has taken a grid penalty, we have Charles Leclerc ahead of us on the grid as he has taken a grid penalty as well. Strategy-wise, one stop's on the cards based on what the game is telling me, and I'm pretty sure the one stop is always on the cards at Silverstone on the 50%. So yeah, soft to medium I think is the way we're going to go. We want to maintain track position. As you just take a look at the rest of the grid and what they're starting on. The front three are starting on mediums, but man, they're lightning quick. So, you know, understandable. But everybody else is on the softs, which is keen. So that just confirms my my suspicions, my inkling, I suppose you can say. We're starting on the softs. We're going to keep track position. Not much more to it, huh? Let's just hope we can get off to a decent start and keep our front wing. And we maintain P12. Let's go to the start of the race. So here we are, engines firing up, 4 lights, 5. It's lights out and away we go at Silverstone. God, it's a fun to say. We got off to a bit of a shaky start as we have Stroll come up on our outside and he gets his nose in front of us. Coming into turn 1 here, we're side by side, 2 wide, and we've lost the position to Stroll actually. Not a good start from us, but as we go up the inside and we go right up the backside of Alonso, we're real wheel-to-wheel stuff, and there's actually a yellow flag. I don't know what that's for. Maybe just slow driving, who knows. But anyways, we get super close to Alonso and we're still too wide with Stroll. We come around onto the first straight and we get the job done. We get the position of P12 back and we keep Stroll behind us, which is super important. He's in a much quicker car than us. So now we can look to try and go and get an early tack on Alonso and Leclerc. These two are fighting now wheel to wheel, and if we can take advantage of this and get ahead of them, we can sneak into the points and try and defend for our dear lives. But it's important to get a nice run through Cops here. As we get ahead of Stroll, and he's not looking to really fight us at the moment. He's dropped in behind us comfortably, and we go a little wide there on with a full tank, and Stroll, we actually invite him back into the fray. He goes too wide into Magnus and Beckers, but then he decides to back off, and that would have ended pretty badly if he didn't. So we come onto the second straight, the hanger straight, and it looks like Alonso and Leclerc are starting to create a little bit of a gap to us as we're the full tank. To be honest, the full tank really caught us out. I do not do any full tank running just to get a feel of it in practice, and not gonna lie, it cost me in the first couple laps. We were going wide in a lot of corners. As here we go wide into the second last corner, around the last corner, and we actually invited Stroll in for a little bit, but he decided to back out again. Luckily, or he would have hit that curb and gone flying, as there's a yellow flag behind us for someone. It looks like somebody spun off, actually. Okay, clear. No idea who that was. Don't know if that's Esteban Ocon or a Williams. I think that's Ocon, actually. It kind of looks like the Alpine color there, the Alpine blue. But anyways, onto our race. We're maintaining P12 by the skin of our teeth. Alonso and Leclerc have created a little bit of a gap to us, but I'm really trying desperately to hold on to that DRS spot. And as we skip to lap 4, you can see we've maintained our spot with the P12. We're close to Leclerc. We're sticking in that DRS zone, and we actually get caught in a bit of a DRS train here. It was really difficult to overtake. Every time we got close to Leclerc, the dirty air just killed me. It absolutely, especially through this triple chicane here, it just really killed me. I lost a lot of time through the cornering when I was fighting close behind cars. And I couldn't pick it up. So we really had to wait for an opportunistic moment to take advantage of, and it didn't help. The fuel load really killed me. It really killed. I was really struggling with it. As you see there, we nick that red sausage curb and we nearly lose it. We did a bit of oversteer, but we managed to hold it. Also, full disclosure, I have no replay cameras for this race. I forgot to mention on the lead up to the start of this race. That was mainly because no PC issues like I had been previously had with that sort of stuff. It's mainly because I just forgot to click save replay, and the highlights were absolute trash, so I didn't bother using those. And I also realized that you won't be able to see any sponsors, the decals on the replay cameras anymore. I uninstalled and reinstalled the game just to fix some of the issues that I had going on. And yeah, so no sponsors on the replay cameras, and I just completely forgot to press the replay button, save replay button on this one. But anyways, it's not to worry. We don't have any flashbacks to cover up anyway, you know. maybe one. We'll get to that. Lap 6, it's still more of the same, to be honest. Honestly, it was a boring start to this race. Like, I mean, I was sweating. In the moment, it was nerve-wracking and it was intense, but you know, from a standpoint, from a spectator standpoint, that's what I'm looking for, it was pretty boring. We're in this DRS train that we just cannot get anywhere with. We can't get ahead of Leclerc and Alonso. We lose so much. You know, the straights, we gain so much. We gain time on them on the straights, but come the corners, we lose so much time in the dirty air, and also the AI are just so far superior to me on the cornering. They just are period in this game. I'm just, especially on the corner exits, I don't carry speed through the corners that well. So I lose a bit of time on the corner exiting to a lot of the AIs, especially through those medium speed corners. But as you can see here, we are deploying ERS with the DRS open, and we get close, but we just can't get close enough. We just can't close that gap, and so we really need to be like 2/10 from Leclerc as we get to the DRS zone, and we just can't get to there. We're always 4/10 behind, as we have another little moment on that same sausage curb. Mate, like, seriously. That gives Stroll another look in, but he doesn't actually get the move done. He decides to back out of it. And that is the theme. So we are pretty much just been defending for Stroll for 7 laps while trying to get close enough to attack Leclerc, but we're just in a car that just won't get us there, you know. If I was a bit better of a driver, we probably could get there, but I am not. So we need the car to be a bit more improved. We need those freaking R&D updates to come through as we skip to the end of lap 9, coming on to lap 10. And yeah, more of the same. Not much to say. More of the same. But as you can see, there's the gap is actually a bit bigger now, and we're out of the DRS zone on Leclerc. So I was getting a bit worried here. I was really trying to push to get back in that DRS zone. And we're actually coming in for our pit this lap. We're going to go in 1 lap earlier to I think it was lap 11, and we have a big moment on the sausage curb there, and that actually invites Stroll in big time as he's right up our clackers there in the rearview mirrors. You can see him right behind us. He's going to have DRS. We are not, so we're going to deploy all ERS possible down this straight. We're going to defend for our lives. We go to ultra defensive and the overspeed on the Aston Martin as we go too wide here into this long left-hander, and we squeeze him out wide, but he keeps his nose in there on the inside, and oh my god, he really keeps his nose in there, and we squeeze him hard to the inside, but we managed to keep the move, get the move done and keep the position. And onto the back straight here, we are just ahead of Stroll, and we lose so much time there with that little battle there to Leclerc. And as you can see there in the bottom right, we hit 40% tyre wear on the front right, so the tyre wear was really starting to kick in. That front left tyre was copping a beating from me. So my decision to come in a lap early is probably a good one, as I was starting to really struggle through the cornering. And again, we lost, you can see the delta there, we lost a few tenths to Leclerc, and I think possibility of a points, unless a miracle safety car happens, possibility of points will not be there, as Lance Stroll looks to the outside of us, and which I don't really mind, to be honest, because we're coming into the pits and he is not. So we might get a bit of an undercut going and hopefully, you know, pick up a few tenths to him, to a second even, or possibly even more depending on the pit stop. As we come into the pit stop here, boys, better be a quick one here, and it is a freaking slow one, man. 3 seconds. These, honestly, I haven't showed too many pit stops across this series so far, but they have been terrible all season. Every pit stop is 2.5 to 3 seconds. We cannot get a close one. We've had like maybe 1 or 2 quick ones, and that's it. So I don't know what to say, man. They got to get out and get practicing and get training and up their speed, man. Because my pit crew is probably about the worst on the grid at the moment. But as we come out of the pits, as you can see, Vettel up the road is actually on the hards. So at this point, I was thinking I might actually be able to catch. He might be a bit slower, and might actually be able to catch some people, and especially if there's a safety car, we can make it to the end of these mediums and maybe jag a few positions. But we'll have to see. The main thing now we're concerned about coming onto the start of lap 12 is that Lance Stroll is in the pits. He's coming out. He's the main guy we are fighting. We're fighting him a bit in Austria, and as we come along the pit straight, Lance Stroll's coming out of the pitch right now, but we got the position. We kept the position. He must have had a mega slow pit stop there, because we've had 3 seconds. He's come out 6-7 tenths behind us, and we were neck and neck as when I went into the pits on lap 10. So yeah, held our position pretty good. But we've got 14 laps to go. 14 laps to go. We got no DRS. We're out of a DRS train. So this has turned into a defensive drive. This whole race has just been defending from Lance Stroll so far, trying to attack with no successes. Lance, as he comes down the outside again on the hanger straight away on his outlap, and we keep our nose in on the inside here, and we squeeze him wide off the track. We keep the outside line here, which will turn into the inside line for this final chicane, and we get the move done. That outside to inside switchback just is unbelievable, but he keeps his nose on the outside there, coming around the final corner, and we squeeze him out, and he drops behind, and we get a little breathing room now. And my god, it was just, I cannot stress to you guys enough how much this just repeatedly happened. It was just Stroll hanging back for a lap or two and coming flying at us on a couple of the same corners, which he might do here. I don't think he's quick enough, actually. What I noticed was when I was deploying ERS, if he was 4 or 5 tenths behind, he really struggled to catch up to us. So our straight line speed was actually not too bad, especially with ERS being deployed. But there is a yellow flag up ahead, and it's Sebastian Vettel in the other Aston Martin pulling over with a mechanical failure by the look of it. He's just been slow and pulled over, so we've actually been projectiled up to... Or projectiled, we've moved up 1 position to P11. So now more chance, if there's a miracle safety car, more chance of possible points if we can jag it. But look, at this point of the race, in the moment, I wasn't really thinking about a safety car. I was just thinking about hold on for dear life against Stroll, because he was just flying on the DRS straights as we go too wide again here into the left-hander as he keeps his nose in but drops out a little bit behind us, and we keep the position again. But he's all over us. The pressure from Stroll each lap was incredible as we skip to lap 21 now, as it was literally just lap after lap the same. And the last probably about 4 laps here, he hasn't been attacking us. He's been sitting back, so I was expecting a charge any moment, and this is where it came. He deployed his ERS, deploying DRS, and he's coming with a huge overspeed into the left-hander again as we nearly hit on the corner entry, and we're too wide, wheel to wheel, and we actually get knocked. We have a bit of a moment and a snap of oversteer as our back end snaps out from beneath us, but we hold it and maintain the position. And I wish I had the replays camera there, because Lance Stroll literally belted us, but in the rear right wheel, but no time to think as he... Oh, Jesus Christ. He goes for a look up the inside of Cops, but I shut him down very, very quickly. Both of those moments there could have ended very, very badly for the both of us, but Stroll, you know, he's got some experience now in F1, and he's a good driver, and decided better of it. Decided I'll live to fight another lap. And on to lap 23 now. You know, again, we're at the point now where he's not hanging around anymore. You know, lap 22, he held off a bit, recharging his battery, and now again, he's going for it again on lap 23. And he's going down, and he's got a lot more overspeed this time as he actually gets ahead of us into the corner. We've got the inside line, so we keep in front of him, but he keeps his nose in on the inside, and we have a little bit of a moment there with the back end stepping out, and Stroll actually gets the move done up on the inside, out of left field, and we've lost the position. We're down into P12. And it is super, super important that we keep close to him here through Corps. We don't lose much time, and into Mackets and Beckett's. Oh my God, we've got to keep close to him here. We can't afford to be 4 or 5 tenths off. Otherwise, we just won't get it done. And as you can see as well, we've got Yuki Tsunoda only 1.6 seconds behind us now. So he's actually been catching while we've been doing this fighting for about 12 odd laps or so. And as we deploy ERS while DRS, and we get a lot of straight line speed and get the move done up on the inside. But Stroll actually keeps his nose in on the outside there, and we squeeze him off the track once again, and he actually gets back ahead of us. But we keep the outside line here to go back to the inside for this second part of the chicane, and we get the move done, and we get back into P11. So this is just a toing and froing all race from myself and Stroll. It's been actually an incredible battle, to be honest. I've never battled one car like this ever playing F1. Not against the AI. Like it was mental. As we're on lap 25, and you can actually see Yuki Tsunoda is on top of Lance Stroll. He's all over the back of Lance Stroll as well. So we got 2 cars with ARS behind us now. So this has turned into, from a 2-way battle, all races turned into a 3-way battle. It's Yuki Tsunoda, who start off with that grid penalty, is also going to be close to us as Lance Stroll gets ahead of us now. And oh my Lord, we were going to duck back up the inside and keep our nose in, but we decided to ease off at the last second back out of that, which was the right move, because we would have been collected and that would have been race done. Yeah. So Lance Stroll is now ahead of us, and we really need to make sure we don't lose a position to Yuki Tsunoda as he looks to the outside of turn 1, but we say, no thank you, Yuki. You're having none of that. And we have a rear wing failure. Our DRS has actually failed, would you believe? And we've stuck within the DRS zone of Lance Stroll. So that pretty much right there, if you heard me in game, I was, in the moment, I was going crazy, because that has just cost us P11. Right there, as Yuki Tsunoda goes for a move up the inside, but we place our car perfectly, so we can't actually get up the inside there, and we maintain P12. So now this has turned into a possible attack onto Stroll, into a defense on Yuki Tsunoda now out of nowhere, all because we've had a DRS failure, as our engineer Jeff tells us now, which is a little late, mate, because the damage is already done. Stroll's already 1.5 seconds ahead of us, so kiss goodbye to P11 there. We're not fighting for any points, which is a bit unfortunate, but this battle has been unreal. Tyre wear was alright at the moment, as you saw down there, it wasn't too crazy. We'll still be able to, we'll still pump it through the corners pretty well, but, you know, hang us straight. Here we go. Yuki's, you know, 4/10 behind. That Alpha Tower is quick in a straight line. We deploy all ARS. We had a bit of battery to deploy, so I got no issues there. And Yuki can't get close enough to us on that straight, so pretty good end to this race for us. We maintain P12, damage control from the rear wing failure, which was unfortunate not to get back at Stroll. But we come around the final corner, across the line in P12, finish where we started. And I was shaking at the end of this. I was shaking, dripping in sweat as well. I've never been sweating so much from playing Formula One. Like, the concentration that entire race was incredible. It was just 20 to 25 laps of defending against Stroll for the like every lap. I was worried he was going to come flying at us, and a couple times he did. But we managed to hold him off until the very end of the race. And I reckon we would have got him back if it wasn't for that DRS failure. But, you know, such is life. You know, such is the sport. It's a bit cruel sometimes, but, you know, at least we finished the race. But full disclosure, I kind of missed it as I was watching this recording back, because the editing, I actually edited it. I can't say that word. But I actually put the clips together, and it was very difficult to tell in the moment as I was watching and commentating on this. But we had one moment as we went too wide with Stroll. I think it was on the first time as we went into the chicane too wide at the end of the lap. And I kind of bottled it on one of the sausage curbs coming out onto the pit straight, and put it into the wall. So I hit the flashback button. That was the one time I hit the flashback button. Normally I cover up with replays, but we don't have that luxury because I was an idiot. I didn't save the freaking replays. Well done, Sriqo. But yeah, we only use one flashback, to be honest, which normally, you know, full disclosure, normally I'm using about 3 or 4 a race. So the new force feedback settings has really helped me, and there was also a new camera settings. I'm actually using Yano Opmi's cameras, a T-cam camera, and I really like it. It's been really good. So as you can see, Schwartzman started in P18, ended in P20, and mate, your career at Sriqo Galactic F1 team is not looking too good at the moment. We put our car in P12 and a 28.8 as our fastest lap. Pretty competitive. The Mercs, McLarens, and Red Bulls are streaking away with it. Those three are the quickest by far, and they are the top 3. We're at the bottom of this midfield battle just purely because of our teammate. If he could get a couple of points, which will not happen, I'm not confident that that'll happen, then we might have a chance. But as you can see, Hamilton leading the championship by 14 points to Bottas, who is ahead of Norris by 17 points. So Norris, and you know, Norris is probably going to be the only one that can challenge the 2 Merc drivers. And in the constructors at the moment, Mercedes, you know, they're running away with it a bit. They're 76 points ahead of McLaren. McLaren are ahead by Red Bull by about 50 odd points, and then it's a big gap to the rest of the field. So, you know, those 3 teams, those 3 constructors are really charging away with it in this first season of the My Team Save. And I don't expect the Mercs to lose it, to be honest, unless some crazy stuff happens. But hope you enjoyed that, guys. It's the end of Silverstone. That was one of my most enjoyable races to actually drive in this career mode so far. So I was pretty happy with that. Next week, we are on to Spa. So hopefully we don't get a crap load of rain like the real life Grand Prix. And hopefully we have a good race again and maybe even jag some points. But we'll see what happens. Spa's normally a pretty crazy race in this in the F1 games. So he's hoping we have another crazy one and we can capitalize on it. And we have a bloody entertaining race for you guys. But anyways, until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.